Very special occasion. We're going to swear in our brand new police chief, Lieutenant Mark Freeman. He's going to be promoted to Chief of Police of the Upper Providence Police Department. And with no further ado, we're going to get that started.
It is indeed an honor to be able to do this. I know this is all about you, but it's just wonderful, and I'm delighted to be able to do this with you. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Ulysses Mark Freeman,
I, Ulysses Mark Freeman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge
and that I would discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations to
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Chief Freeman. I won't ever be confused again.
Yeah.
I'm going to present you with the Chief's badge for the Upper Providence Police Department, number 1, and ask your wife to pin it on. You know why I won't do it.
Very good. You had a couple of dry runs here, so she should be pretty good. Maybe not.
We're going to talk a little more about this next month when we say goodbye to Chief Toomey. But we're very proud of our police department here in Upper Providence. They have sought and won many accreditations in the recent years, and they are just a fine group of professionals. And we're going to talk more about that, like I said, next month. But as I told Mark, I said, you know, you've got a lot that you're going to have to maintain here to the high standards. But I know that he's not alone, and I know that our officers will support him 100% in that. And you should be proud of yourselves and proud of your new chief. Thank you very much.
So there's a couple hundred people I need to thank. If you just bear with me, it'll only take about 45 minutes. So, you know, I'm joking. I would like to thank the board. I'm very honored and humbled for your decision to allow me to lead the department into the future. So thank you very much for that. I'd also like to thank Township Manager Tim Tieperman. There's a lot of behind the scenes during this transition where one of his comments was, Mark, we really want to make this a nice event for you and your family to be able to look back fondly on. And thank you for that. It speaks volumes about you and your leadership, and you've succeeded. Thank you. And I know there was a little ad hoc committee, Sarah, Cheryl, and Rich, that kind of put this together. Thank you guys. I'd also like to thank Chief Toomey. Although Chief Toomey's only been with our agency for about 7.5 years out of a 44-year career, make no mistake about it, from day one, he was 100% invested in Upper Providence and our police department. So I want to thank him for his 7.5 years of leadership, his guidance. He's a great boss to work for, and ultimately now a great friend. So thank you, Chief. I want to thank also my family and friends that are here today. No one reaches any level of success without help and support, and I am no different. They've been there all the way without question, and I appreciate all of them. We are missing one family member today, or actually two, my father-in-law and my father, who passed away earlier this year, one of my biggest cheerleaders, but I'm sure he's with us in spirit. I'd like to thank and recognize the officers of the police department. You know, being a police officer is a challenge in regular times, and then you throw a pandemic on top of it. It made the job that much more difficult. They're dealing with the pandemic when they come to work, and they're also dealing with that same pandemic on a personal level, worried about their own family and friends. So, but they came to work every day, and they conducted themselves in the most professional way. They put others before themselves, and I appreciate each and every one of them, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future. Thank you for all that you do. Certainly, last but not least, I have to recognize my wife. All these spouses that in the room that have husbands as police officers know that it's no easy task being married to a police officer. Missed holidays, anniversaries, shift work, you name it. But the ultimate difficulty is when you kiss your spouse goodbye as they leave for work, because you just never know what that day is going to bring. And my wife was no different. And for 30 years, she stood by me with grace and dignity, and literally my biggest supporter. I couldn't have done any of this without her, especially my master's degree. She was my proofreader for a lot of my papers. But I love you, honey. Thank you for standing by me. Thank you for saying yes to me. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Thank you to all the chiefs and everyone that came. Make sure I'm not forgetting anybody here. Honorable Judge Alston, thank you so much for coming up and performing the ceremony. I really appreciate it. That's about it. Thank you all very much.
All right, I guess everyone's figured out that we have full public attendance at our meetings again. If you'd like to stay for the meeting, you're more than welcome. We're going to get started here at 7 o'clock on the regular. Have fun greeting each other in the parking lot. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Board of Supervisors for Upper Providence Township, Monday, May 17th, 2021. And would everyone please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And I assume everybody's had a chance to have a look at the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve the board agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor of approving the board's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to public comment. And we should be open for Zoom. Are we open for Zoom tonight, too? Yeah.
Yes, we are.
So do we have anyone on Zoom that would like to make public comment?
If you'd like to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do we have anyone here in person who would like to make public comment tonight? Okay. All right, and for the next meeting in June, we will continue to leave the Zoom link open for the meeting so that folks that haven't had a chance to get vaccinated can comment that way. But beginning in July, it's going to be all in person and no Zoom format for the Board of Supervisor meetings. Okay. Earlier this evening, we had the swearing-in ceremony for our new chief, Mark Freeman, as our police chief. And it was done by the Honorable Cheryl Austin. We appreciate her coming to do that. And good luck to Chief Freeman and to our police department. Okay. There were no executive sessions convened this evening or since the last Board of Supervisors meeting. And next we have the approval of the bill list. I assume everyone's had a chance to look at it. Is there any discussion or questions about this month's bill list? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the bill list for April 16th, 2021 through May 10th, 2021 for $1,326,949.33.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the bill list from the period April 16th through May 10th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. Okay, and we have two sets of minutes that were in our packet. We have the minutes from the regular meeting on April 19th, and we have the workshop meeting minutes from May 3rd. I think that's two. So if there's any discussion or correction to the minutes, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 19th, 2021 regular meeting minutes and the May 3rd, 2021 workshop meeting minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes from April 19th, 2021, and the workshop meeting May 3rd, 2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. Our next agenda item is a public hearing. Consider enacting ordinance 590, changing the zoning district of the property located at 183 Klein Road from R1 to R2. And I will let the township solicitor take it from here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Starling. Good evening, everyone. Good, Mark? This is a public hearing held pursuant to the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, which requires a formal hearing whenever a zoning ordinance is changed. In this particular case, you'll recall the ordinance and procedurally where we are because the applicant who requested the zoning change has already agreed to deed restrictions on the property, which are being held in escrow pending the adoption of the ordinance. And then, assuming you do adopt the ordinance, then I would go ahead and record the deed restrictions, which they've already given to the township, which includes less density than they could have under the R2, and it includes some muscling up of the pump station that'll go in so that there can be future connections for the township's benefit. Otherwise, it's very straightforward. It's simply taking this parcel and moving it from the one district to the other district. Is there anybody in the Zoom audience or the live audience that has questions or comments about the proposed ordinance change?
I have one person raising their hand. Ms. Shannon Davis.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, how many houses are they planning to put in now?
The applicant's attorney is here, and he's just coming up to the podium now to answer your question.
Good evening, members of the board. Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, this is Anthony Maris from PRDC. Our proposal is for a maximum of 30 new home sites in the property located at 183 Klein Road. By density calculations, it would be a higher density allowed, but there's a deed restriction, as the solicitor noted, indicating that we will cap that at 30 units.
So as of right now, he can only put in how many homes?
Under the current R1 zoning, it would be about 17 or 18 homes.
Is that at 1 acre per lot?
I think it's 1 acre per, those are 1 acre lots, and that would also be on-lot water and on-lot sewer. To achieve the 30-unit density, we would be extending public water. And as the solicitor noted, the pump station we would build would be located at a spot agreed by us and the township to service other homes in the area that would not have to be subject to any sort of recapture agreement. They would just have to make their connections. But we would, if someone outside the area, a new development came along, they would be subject to the recapture type of agreement. But it's really for the benefit of the township in that area as well. If there's any future failing systems, is why the pump station is being upsized.
That's the sewer you're talking about, right?
Correct, ma'am.
That's the sewer. Sorry, you're here with Marge Blacko. She lives on Klein, and we're Linfield Trap.
Do you have any other questions, ma'am?
Do you have anyone?
Yes, I want to know where the sewer is going to be coming in from.
Ms. Davis, can we get your address real quick, just so we have it for the record?
It's 411 East Linfield Trap Road. Our property backs up to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we're here with Marge. She's our elderly neighbor. Her address is,
My address is 191 Klein Road. I am right next to the property. His property butts up against mine.
The sewer connection would be go under Linfield Trap Road, and the proposed location, in order for the township to be able to service other residents in the area, would be a location on the Taylor farm, and then it would pump back out and go up the hill to Providence Corner, where there is an existing gravity connection that was extended out when that subdivision was done in order to make the connection.
okay.
Where's Providence Corner?
Up across from Pope John Paul High School,
Okay.
the townhomes up at the top of the hill.
On the township line.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The record will indicate that nobody in the live audience has indicated any questions or comments.
Mr. President, we do have one other person that raised their hand.
You're muted. They won't keep you on because they're.
That's Stanley's, I'm going to butcher this, Zurzek?
Stan Zorek, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm located at
I'm sorry, could you,
Klein Road, right across the street.
could you spell your name and give us your address, please?
Sure, it's SZCZUREK, and the address is 184 Klein Road, right across the street.
Go ahead, sir.
Where are the proposed, where are you going to be going in and out of the property as far as when you're doing the building, and then when you're finished, where are the main roads entering and exiting the property?
In general terms, there would be an entrance across roughly from the driveway to the Taylor farm. As you can, I don't know if you can see on the Zoom, there's a proposed map. And then out on Klein Road, it would be between the Pico power line easement and the adjoining properties. But there's buffer of open space around each of the lots in this plan. And that was, as we worked through this, one of the comments from the Planning Commission was to try to provide a little bit of a bigger buffer of open space. Those lot shapes may move a little bit, but they can't exceed the number of 30. And the only reason I'm saying exactly where that is, we've had the site surveyed, but the exact road alignment has to be township standards for safe site distance and travel distance and safe access. And those are all things that would be vetted in the land development process of the project. So those are approximate locations, but they might be off by a couple feet.
Okay, and how big are the lots going to be that you're proposing with the 30 homes?
The lots will be a minimum of 15,000 square feet to comply with the R2 zoning ordinance. We do not have 25 minimum acres, so we would not be able to apply for the cluster ordinance. But essentially, it's the same concept of a layout. Instead of lotting everything out, we would still do it at the minimum lot size and provide a band of open space as part of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any others, Jeff?
No, that's all.
All right, board members, do you have any questions of the attorney for the applicant?
I have a few questions. The open space that's set aside, is that maintained by that development?
It would be maintained by the HOA unless the township was to indicate that you wanted it for some reason. There is a trail that we would propose, so I think there would be some coordination for how the interconnectivity of that would be. I know that's been an important aspect for the township, but that's all part of land development.
And remember, right now, we're only changing the zoning ordinance. There's no land development application in yet, so they'll be back with an opportunity for you to go through the details
When connect the trail?
when they actually start to build.
Right.
What do you expect the price point to be?
Well, I think, when we originally talked about this, we talked about homes being in the mid-5s to mid-6s. By the time I got through approvals, I hope I could be back somewhere in the 6s. For those of you who are in the building industry, lumber has gotten crazy. We used to pay about $12 a foot to build a house for just the lumber piece, the stick framing. Lumber on an equivalent house now is $34 a foot. It's 3 times the cost. And there's this fallacy out there that cheap mortgages are letting people continue to buy homes, but at some point in time, that table will turn. So we are being very conscious in terms of lot size. And part of the reason we're not making the lots overly big is because we want to fit the right size house so we can appeal to the broadest segment of society and price point. But I also think there's going to be, at some point, a little bit of a retrenchment, and we want to be prepared for that as well, as opposed to having big 1-acre lots that then kind of command these super high prices. So we're trying to land somewhere in the middle, stick with the character of the R2 zoning district, stick with the character of the neighborhood and the township. But for anybody who's building right now, affordability is a real concern for every builder because it's a real issue. So hopefully that eases us by the time we get building here.
And I guess, by the time you get approval, it's a year or more, right?
Year and a half, so hopefully it comes down. That's what I'm hoping as the mills reopen and things get a little bit more normalized, you can get glue for plywood. That's one of the resins is a big issue. But hopefully prices can adjust, but we'll see. No one foresaw this coming, so hopefully there's no other surprises.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to reiterate, just for our residents, the pump station that you're putting on Taylor Farm, what's the price point for that?
It's roughly $500,000. Again, last time I job costed it, it was at the beginning of last summer. It's probably gone up a little bit, mainly because the electrical components have gotten more expensive. But it's about a $500,000 on the upsize version of it. It would be about a $350,000, $400,000, because it's an expansion of the wet well. So the pumps and everything would be designed. I'd work with Mr. Dingman. We talked about roughly how many EDUs beyond the 30 that we would need here. I think we're going to size the station for approximately 100 EDUs, which would allow not only for the existing residents to be able to connect, but also if the township ever developed a Taylor Farm in a way, and I know there's a deed restriction on it. When I say develop, I mean in conformity with that restriction in terms of passive recreation, but if you ever wanted to have bathrooms there or parks or something that people can use, there would be sufficient capacity and it would be located at a spot that would not only service the residents, but also the Taylor Farm. So we just have to work out some things with Mr. Dingman exactly where that is. I got to find the right low point because that's where it all has to go.
Okay, I will turn it back over to Mr. Starling for the call of a vote.
All right. Having heard that public hearing, what do we need? Okay, So I'll entertain a motion to enact ordinance 590, which would change the zoning district of the property located at 183 Klein Road.
So, all right, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 590, changing the zoning located at 183 Klein Road from R1 to R2 with the restrictions that are going to be in place upon passage of this ordinance.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second to enact ordinance 590. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries. Thank you.
All right, that concludes the hearing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. All right, now we're at the old business portion of the meeting, and there's nothing there, and Mr. Tuperman says that means we're doing a good job. All right. Item number 5, discuss the meeting format for all boards and commissions in consideration of the anticipated lifting of the COVID-19 mitigation measures. Well, as you can see, we're going to be meeting live, and I believe we're still working on what we're going to do about the zoning hearing board and the planning commission, right? Whether we can keep the Zoom or not, depends on what room they meet in.
That's my understanding. I mean, we will be live, but if we're working out the
Okay.
parameters of a Zoom component.
All right, there's going to be one more month of that through July when we will allow a Zoom option. I would implore everybody, get vaccinated when you can. Everyone in my family, that's not just my nuclear family, my extended family, including a 91-year-old grandfather and a 79-year-old grandmother, have gotten the vaccine. I was the biggest whiner about it. Everybody else did fine. And all I needed was a couple extra naps. My wife said she couldn't tell the difference, but, but in any event, please get your vaccine. And if for some reason you can't, continue to wear your mask. But we are going to be live, and please be patient with our local businesses and restaurants. They're trying to figure their way out of this too. But I'm delighted that we're back live and that we're going to get back to normal living. So, all right. I think that was it. Okay, item number 6, consider setting a date and time for a conditional use hearing for the Providence Business Park 3 for the PD Home and Garden Center. This was before our Planning Commission last week. And Mr. Grace, if you want to go ahead and review the application.
I don't have any slides for it. It really is just approving the advertising at this point.
Okay.
They will come in for a hearing like we've had for previous conditional uses. The Planning Commission did recommend granting the hearing and recommended approval for you.
All right, and suggested on here July 19th at 7. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion then to grant a conditional use hearing for the PD Home and Garden Center at Providence Business Park 3 for July 19th at 7 p.m. Someone want to make that motion?
I'll do that. I'll make a motion to, I'm sorry about that. Here we go. I can read it now. All right. I'll make a motion to set Monday, July 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. for a conditional use hearing for the Providence Business Park 2.
Well, it says 2 down here, but.
3?
Business Park 3.
3.
Is it
Thank
3?
you.
Typo.
PD Home and Garden. So I'm going to restate the
Typo.
motion.
Sorry.
I make a motion to set Monday, July 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. for a conditional use hearing for Providence Business Park 3, Home and Garden.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion, a second, to grant a conditional use hearing for the PD Home and Garden Center in Providence Business Park 3, July 19th at 7 p.m. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries. Thank you. Okay, item number 7, consider approving a supplemental professional services agreement with Traffic Planning and Design, Inc. for the Montclair Alignment Project. I've heard about this already, but I'm going to have Mr. Borchek explain it to the board and to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Greg Richardson from Traffic Planning and Design on by way of Zoom. I'll introduce it briefly, and if he has any details, he's welcome to speak. If you recall, we had to competitively bid the design services for the Montclair alignment project because of the nature of the grant that we received. Traffic planning design won that and was awarded the bid for the design of that project. Mr. Richardson is in asking for an additional $10,000. He outlines in his letter, and I'd welcome him to go into detail on that. I would only add that we met many times with residents, both through the design phase and in light of 2 additional easements that were required for utility relocations after PICO got involved in relocating utility poles. Tawn from TPD was gracious in each of those meetings, and while we expect that from all our consultants, I will say that they went the extra mile.
Yeah, and I know later tonight we're going to talk about those utility easements and have to pass an act of resolution related to those. This is just some money they didn't expect to spend. They've had to attend a lot of extra meetings. I think it's well justified. So I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I'm sorry, John's not here to do this.
I
He's
know
doing
this
these
is
ones.
his project, isn't it?
You know, I'll make a motion to approve a supplemental professional services agreement with Traffic Planning and Design, Inc. for the Montclair Alignment Project.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve a supplemental professional services agreement with Traffic Planning Design and Inc. for the Montclair Alignment Project. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, that carries. Thank you. All right, number 8, consider...
Mr. Chairman, this is Greg Richardson. I'm here. I thought I might as well say something.
Oh, go
Thank you
ahead.
very much for the consideration. It's been a pleasure working with the township and staff on this project, and you know, the project's moving forward, and construction should be starting soon, and we look forward to it. I drive through this intersection quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to it being realigned and you know, being a more efficient and safer intersection. So thank you again for your consideration, and everyone stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 8, consider awarding a bid for road paving project A to H&K Group from Skippack, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $728,913. Mr. Dingman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you received 6 bids on this project, and the low bid was H&K Group, and we're recommending award to H&K in the amount you so stated, and I'd like to get the project going, if we could.
Okay. If there's no questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Can I add, when will this start then, Bill?
Probably about a month, I would say, by the time you get bonds and insurance in, they get the project on their schedule. I suspect about a month.
And it'll take through the summer, or?
Should take them 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion to award a bid for road paving project A to H&K Group from Skippack, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $728,913.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second to award road paving project A to H&K Group from Skippack, Pennsylvania. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Can we, all right, can we list the streets? I'm sorry, can we name the streets that are going down?
Go ahead.
Just for anybody listening so they know.
Road A is Hafner Road, Windy Knoll Drive, Hidden Valley Drive, Ashenfelder Road, Amanda Lane, and Scarlet Oak Drive.
So Ashenfield, the culvert will be replaced and then repaved.
Yes.
As opposed to,
Wait, I know we've asked that. Wait, I just want to make sure that,
As opposed to
that
propping it up.
particular, the base paving and everything will be done in the time frame I stated, but the wearing course, the final wearing course on Ashenfelder is scheduled for September to make sure that the culvert is complete first.
all right, and item number 9 is to add back in for this year the paving project B. We normally have an A and a B each year, and we had dropped B out of our budget because we did not know exactly how COVID was going to affect our revenues. But we're in good shape now to go ahead and complete both of those and to stay on schedule, which in our schedule is to repave all of our roads every 20 years. So in any event, if there's no questions about that, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, how about a list of those roads?
Okay.
Those roads are Pitchelman Road, Dorothy Circle, Grasshopper Lane, North Mennonite Road, Terror Drive, Norwood Street. I believe I have them all there.
I will move to consider adopting Resolution 2021-27, amending the 2021 capital budget to fund Road Project B.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2021-27, amending the 2021 capital budget to fund Road Project B. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. Item 10, consider awarding a bid for Road Paving Project B to Alan Myers from Worcester, PA, in the amount of $547,398. And we just heard the list of roads, and I think we know what this is. Anybody have any other questions? I'll entertain.
Five bids were received, and we're recommending award to Alan Myers.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to award a bid for Road Paving Project B to Alan Myers LP from Worcester, PA, in the amount of $547,398.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to award Road Paving Project B to Alan Myers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, consider adopting Resolution 2021-28, amending the 2021 capital budget to fund a library feasibility study. And just a word about this. This is actually what we're studying is the feasibility of fundraising within the township, both within the corporate community and among our residents who would like to see the township build a library. So that's what this study is going to be. That's the feasibility that we're looking to determine. So anybody have any questions, or is there any discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, consider adopting Resolution 2021-28, amending the 2021 capital budget to fund a library feasibility study.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2021-27, amending the 2021 capital budget to fund a library feasibility study.
Lori, I'm sorry, I think it's 2021-28, typo number 2.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I was reading from the yellow. Make that -28. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. Consider terminating a sanitary sewer collection system agreement between Upper Providence Township and the Royersford Borough.
This is something that I mentioned at a prior supervisors meeting. The agreement is no longer necessary because those people who were under that side agreement are now protected by the PUC because it'll be a part of the territory for the new provider. So there's no need for the agreement, which is now superfluous.
Okay. All right. Any discussion or comment? All right.
I'll make a motion to terminate a sanitary sewer collection system agreement between Upper Providence Township and Royersford Borough.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second to terminate that old agreement between Royersford Borough and Upper Providence Township. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right, item number 13. Consider approving utility pole guy wire easements for 109 Jacob Street and 120 Jacob Street for the Montclair Alignment Project. This was one of those late in the game type of things that came up when we realized that the utility poles had to be raised in height, and PICO requires a guy wire over a certain height. So we have to obtain some additional easements for that project. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry, I'm stealing.
I was just asking you how quickly you want me to summarize it. PICO needs to install taller utility poles. They won't install them unless we get an easement so they can be tethered back. Those tethers have to fall within the property, and Ms. Horn and Ms. Lebedinsky were very gracious in agreeing to grant those easements to the township.
All right. If there's no more discussion or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the pole guy wire easements for 109 and 120 Jacob Street for the Montclair Alignment Project as prepared by the Township Solicitor.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the pole guy wire easements for 109 and 120 Jacob Street. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. Oh, great. Item number 14, consider adopting Resolution 2021-29 and authorizing submission of a Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant application requesting $231,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the Troutman-Ashenfelter Trail Project. I think this is something that we applied for before.
We got denied. We're hoping for a better.
Okay. All right, so we're going to give it.
And that is a 15% match for that grant.
Okay. All right, we're going to give that another try then.
I have a quick question. So we applied for it before. What gives us the opportunity to get it this time? Is it just trying again with the same?
Well, it took us 3 applications before we got the Montclair grant, so hopefully 2's a charm.
Squeaky.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
If I could just say that the CFA awards really require you as board members to contact your local legislators. They're very highly competitive, so the more you keep in touch with them, people are all vying for the dollars, so please do so.
Now, when you put it in, Casey, would you you'll let us all know we can start bugging them?
Yeah, actually, we're not involved in this one. I think it's Bill. So Bill's the trail guy on this one.
It's due the end of May, so June 1, you can start calling.
All right, Bill. Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to consider adopting Resolution 2021-29 and authorizing submission of a Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant application requesting $231,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the Troutman-Ashenfelter Trail Project.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2021-29. I'm not going to read the rest of it. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. Consider authorizing this is item 15. Consider authorizing the advertisement of bids for the Tindy Run Sanitary Sewer Main Project. Mr. Dingman?
Yeah, this is the ongoing project. Trying to think where we're at here. We need the Montgomery County Conservation District approval yet, which is, we've made the second revision back to them, so we anticipate that in the next 30 days or less. And the Part 2 permit for the pump station has been down at DEP now for about 60 days. They have 90 days, so we're anticipating that in the next 30 days also. And there's just one easement/license agreement. It's crossing the PICO right-of-way, power lines, high-tension lines, and Brian said he's going to bug them, Mr. and Mrs. PICO soon, I guess, on that one. So we're hoping to have all that before your next board meeting, so that's why we're looking to have authorization to bid it at this time. We may not have it all, but we're hoping to have it all by then. We just don't want to waste any time. We'd like to move forward with the project as soon as possible. And none of those items would change the design significantly.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Now, there says possible pump station. Is that probable, or why is it possible? It's in the, left side.
I guess it's possible until we build it there. Then it's real.
So that should be probable.
Wow, that's really deep for a pump station.
Yeah, that's where the pump station will be.
Okay. And then how many people have indicated that they would be hooking up?
Brian, I'm going to defer to you on that one.
This is always the tricky part.
Maintained a list that the prior sanitary sewer foreman that I inherited from him when he left the township a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe there's 30 to 35 people in this service area that have inquired about sewer over the past, 10 years, a long period of time. So there definitely seems to be interest in connecting.
How many total homes?
117 in total.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I believe this neighborhood's just right at the sweet spot for them to start going
Yeah.
sideways, right? Yeah, or a lot of these neighborhoods in here.
Yeah, the two developments that it encompasses both are probably 20 to 25 years of age at this point. And then you got the older existing homes that have the frontage lots on Fruit Farm Road and Old State Road that are much older than that, generally, except for Dr. Eisenhower's.
All right. Any more questions or discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize legal advertisement of bids for the Tindy Run sanitary sewer main project.
Second that?
I have a motion and a second to authorize advertisement for bids for the Tindy Run sanitary sewer main project. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. Consider authorizing the advertisement, this is item 16, the advertisement of bids for the raising of the barn, house, and 2 accessory structures on the Taylor property at 432 East Linfield Trap Road.
Please disregard the crying and sobbing you will hear during the next part of this meeting.
Go ahead, Brian and Sue, make her cry.
I don't want to make her cry. These structures, as I think all the board members know, are not in the best of shape. Our insurance carrier has been after us to do something with them for a long period of time. We do believe the most cost-effective solution is to raise those structures. And we have discussed planting a wildflower meadow or something to that effect to memorialize the location of where they were, and perhaps for the barn, even leave a portion of the foundation wall there that's still structurally sound.
Okay. And we have a development plan for that. We voted it in the recent Parks and Rec.
Through the Park Master Plan, yes.
And we'll get started on that soon, in the next couple of years, I mean. And one of the components of that is going to be community farming. I saw a tremendous project of that down when I was in South Carolina a few months ago. And they actually used the easement under power lines to do it. But they had hundreds of little lots out there, and folks were out working one Saturday morning. And so anyway, something we should definitely give a try. All right.
I'm still going to cry.
Is there, question, to Ms. Higgins' point. This is not trying to make you cry, but I know when they bid this, and I know we're going to work on some sustainability issues, there could be things there could be beams inside this barn that we would love to see reclaimed properly. I don't know what we would do with them, but I assume that the firm that's going to do this type of demolition, that's going to be baked into their price. They're going to know what that stuff's worth, right, or something to that effect.
Yeah, and Bill and I haven't discussed this yet, but we will in crafting the bid advertisement if the board authorizes to proceed tonight. My thought is to give somebody ample time to get in there and remove hardware, hinges, doorknobs, things that are of particular value if you're trying to restore a home or of that period or construct something similar. I think there's certainly components within there that have a great deal of value to the right person.
So Ms. Higgins is going to put all kinds of doorknobs and things on the walls in here now? Next.
I'm going to save the doors from the 3rd floor that are dated to 1792. That was determined just on the paint. If there was a way to save the oven, the beehive oven.
That was another conversation we'll have with
I
Bill.
know.
Maybe include a bid alternate to get a price for someone to demolish around the beehive oven and place that somewhere within a, prescribed radius of the job site. Just to get a price for it, if the board
Sure.
is inclined to do that or not.
Sure. The other thought I had was contacting Matt Wismer, mayor of Trapp, to see if he wants to save the mantelpiece that has his ancestors' initials carved into that. I mean, maybe he doesn't want it, I don't know. I just thought it would be nice to reach out to him and ask him if he wants that. I'm still gonna cry.
I'll entertain a motion.
And Al and I are going to have to pass it. Laurie's not going to.
Oh, yeah, right.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'll make a motion, consider authoring the advertisement of bids for the raising of the barn house and 2 accessory structures on the Taylor property at 432 East Linfield Trapp Road.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion to authorize the advertisement of bids for the raising of the barn, house, and 2 accessory structures on the Taylor property at 423 East Linfield Trapp Road. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right. All right, item 17, consider adopting Resolution 2021-30 for the 2020 RACP Grant Award for the Fire and Emergency Services Facility.
This is an obligation of the RACP grant that we were awarded. Effectively, the board's acknowledging that we submitted the application, that you'll have to further funds that will then be reimbursed by the grant.
Okay.
So formality to further the application at this point where it is.
Oh, okay, so they just want to make sure we're going to spend the money and then they'll
There may-
reimburse us.
Like I said, it acknowledges that the board's acknowledging that you will have to spend those funds, and then be reimbursed by the grant. You won't receive them in advance of the expenditure.
Okay. Any more questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion adopting Resolution 2021-30 for the 2020 RACP Grant Award for the Fire and Emergency Services Facility.
All right, I have.
I'll
go ahead.
second.
I'm sorry. I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2021-30 for the 2020 RACP Grant Award for the Fire and Emergency Services Facility. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right, and now we're going to go to manager and department head reports, and I have an item under here that we're going to get an update from the IFP on the fitness center.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for having me. My name is Lauren Shelley, and I'm the Director of Wellness Operations with IFP. We've been with Upper Providence Township and Community Centers for just under 2 years, so we'd like to give you a little bit of insight. I'm under the impression that everybody, or almost everyone, has been able to tour the facility since its revamp. We have the tour. We'll give you a quick virtual tour if you haven't been able to visit. that's just a little insight of what has changed and the revamp of the space, just like everyone has had to. We have reimagined, what we can use, how we can reuse, revitalize, and revamp our areas, just like we have with our staff. We've reimagined really how we can be, an integral part of the community as well. So we just gave you a quick membership overview. It's a little larger in this view, but that's okay. So you can see the subscription memberships was basically is just going to be a rollover membership from month to month, whereas in the past we've had community members sign up each month and re-sign up each month. So now the subscription membership allows us to capture memberships month to month on that basis. And we can see since February, and along with COVID restrictions, capacity restrictions, we have had about a 27% increase into April. Community Pass, the community center is now open to all community residents. So we can see that has also been increasing. We've seen since February, the word has been getting out where community members can use different portions of the community center for free of charge. And that's about a 250% increase up and through to April. And we feel that with the current mandates and restrictions that have been lifted, that will continue to increase. Silver Sneakers, which is our senior community, that has pretty much been steady since we've been open, and that's typical in the trends of the market. Silver and Fit is relatively new. That's 9 across the board, so that's just a smaller. It's very similar to Silver Sneakers, but it's a smaller portion of those users. Utilization scan-ins, this is typical trends that we see in fitness and in recreation centers. We had about 1,000 check-ins, and we increased in March to 1,500, and now we're kind of dipping a little bit in April. As the weather gets nicer, we don't see as many check-ins. And Kids Corner is new, that we, since inception in February. We've seen around 50 to 53 March and April, and we were offering it 2 times a day. We are now we're offering it just at one point of the day, just based off of usage and utilization. We're trying to make those changes so that it works for everyone's budget. This is just going to give you just some insight of the utilization. This Q1 monthly utilization on the left. Basically, we're hovering around 30% for each month. So there really wasn't much change since we opened. So that constitutes the marketing and how we've been getting out to the community. This is contingent upon the weekdays in the month, so we might see, April's a little bit lower than March because there were less days that we were open, but typically it's pretty equal. And Q1 weekly utilization, you can see which days are typically mostly frequented, and we're seeing middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Friday. Friday has a pretty substantial check-in time, so it's just a great graph to just kind of visualize what days of the week we're seeing the most usage. Something that we've really been, not forced to, but we've been encouraged to include some more programs, especially since COVID. Like I said, we had to reimagine and rethink how we're offering different types of initiatives and programs here. We have outdoor group exercise in summer 2020. This was pretty much where we were allowed with capacity with the COVID-19 restrictions. This is about 18 participants we would see, so people still wanted to utilize what the community had to offer. The senior outdoor group exercise did not do as well just because it's hot in the summer, so we can take a look at that. And then you can see basketball, fall over 2020, over spring over 2021. We do have a wait list. We had a wait list of 6 on the spring 2021. So things are looking up for our paid programs. We do a initiative called Superheroes for the children, and then we are starting a recess for the kids as well. So we have some more upcoming paid programs. They're doing the ones that are doing fairly well. We are renewing and we are offering to the community members. So we have recess, soccer, movie night. We're doing some bundles, tiny tumblers, soccer, and then also pop-up fitness. So these are just some ideas that we're trying to offer just to keep it fresh. Kids Corner, we started Kids Corner in February. What the idea was to offer major themes for the children, so thinking STEM, arts and crafts, literacy, movement, rather than just taking your kid and dropping them off at a child care center. This would give them some structure as the parents were on site. We were open Monday through Friday in the mornings and in the evenings during the busiest times. In May, we are just going to be offering it in the evenings only because there were not as many people who have adopted that in the mornings. And that's, a lot of children were at home with homeschooling, as well as parents are working from home. So we're just, feeling out the waters and making those adjustments when needed. We are starting in May, this month, a private play. So those times that have been taken in the morning that were offered are now available to parents who can basically utilize the area where the kids' corner is to have a small group of, if you have a mom group or small child group, ages 2 to 10 with a maximum of 12 kids are allowed in that area. So that's it's going to be seen as almost as a rental space for that time period. So if there are people who are missing out that did utilize the morning, they still have that offering. So we don't take it away. So our virtual offerings, these were some offerings that we included during the COVID-19 pandemic when things were forced to be shut down. We do have a Simplex On Demand. It's an on-demand, channel-based workout offering that we offer to members for a low cost. I think it's $6.99 for the month, and it gives you hundreds of group exercise classes. When we weren't able to offer group exercise classes, this was our solution to have our members still have that opportunity to work out in that, quote, group setting. It's offered to all members, and they can cancel at any time. We also offer a Functional Fit 12-week workout program, which is a DIY workout program, as well as our sister company, Simplex Health, with health coaching, nutrition therapy, and other registered dietitian services. So they're all offered to all the members of the community. Just some marketing, just to give you some insight into some marketing things that have happened since February, since we reopened and revamped the center. So we have National Walking Day on April 7th, Women's Health Month, Senior Health and Fitness. Free fitness orientations are always ongoing. We have personal training on site with the new equipment that was put in, as well as exercise support questions. So our staff is there at all during open hours to give them any of those services that any member would need. And these are just some pictures of the programs that we have had over the past 3 months. And this is, what the members are saying. We took a couple testimonials from, senior members, adult members. Some of the teenagers wanted to take the opportunity to give us their feedback as well. We did not just, cherry pick all the positives. It was mostly all positive, regardless. We said, what's your feedback about since reopening the center with all the new changes? And a lot of them, the community pass, being able to, come in and play pickleball or, at no charge has been a really great benefit for the community at large. It's just getting that word out and then, pivoting them to any other type of membership or any other offering that we have available for that time. So the new equipment, everybody loves it. It's great, of course. It's really nice. And that's it in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions or...
I have a quick question. I know you're open Monday through Friday. Is there any thoughts to a Saturday morning?
We were open on Saturdays. We're still discussing.
It's still up in the air. We're waiting for more of the guidelines to come out. And we're also waiting to hear on the population. If the population at the community center right now is interested in weekend hours. Prior to COVID hitting, we didn't have a huge population coming in on Saturdays. So we were kind of taken from a scan-in checkpoint. So unless we get a lot of people that are hopeful for it and speaking out towards it, we don't have too many people asking at this moment.
Any other questions?
Just to comment, my grandkids even come over to do the, I think it's a Sunday outside racing or something like that. They just,
The running series. Running
yeah,
series,
they
Healthy
just thought
Kids
that
Run.
was the greatest thing in the world. They really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Glad to hear it. That's great. That's where, that's where.
Yeah, a few months ago, I got to cut the ribbon down there. We were still in the middle of COVID in the wintertime, but as I said then, I think this has been a great public-private partnership with IFP, and appreciate the work you guys do, and I appreciate your work, Sue. So, thank you very
enjoy it,
much.
Sue.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and
Right, where are we? Okay. Consultant reports. Bill will ask Bill.
Just real quick, the Ashenfelder Culvert Pre-Con meeting was today. I didn't get a report back as to when they're actually going to be physically starting the work out there. The Caroline Drive Pre-Con meeting, storm sewer project is next week, and the Rivercrest Trail project is under construction. The contractor indicated about a 60-day completion, so that should be done by, what's that, the end of July or so, with the exception of the mast arm for the pedestrian crossing on Black Rock Road. It's delayed, like all signal-related items are delayed, and so we're looking basically end of the year for that at this point.
Wow. Who's tearing up 113 in Black Rock down here? Is that PennDOT?
That's PennDOT for the intersection?
Resurfacing?
Yes. Resurface.
Okay.
And then add the lane.
Yeah, they're also adding
Adding the lane.
Adding the turning
left turn lanes, not with the left turn signalization, but the striping will be there for the left turns, both northbound and
For
southbound.
the left turn off of 113 on the Black Rock, right?
Yeah, that
Correct.
intersection is getting progressively worse. It couldn't come at a better time.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
people
Totally agree.
to at least use the right lane and keep going straight. Yeah.
Yep. All right, very good. Anybody else? Any of the other consultants have any? All right, Mr. Solicitor?
One item arose today that requires a motion regarding the Gambone project, the Providence Business Center 3. As you know, generally when projects are constructed, the public improvement part of it is then offered for dedication to the township, and most of the time you accept dedication and sometimes you don't. In this particular case, they are seeking their sewer planning module from DEP, and the same issue arose here in a slightly different context that we recently had at Providence Town Center, where there is a sewer main that DEP is concerned about because they want to make sure that it will be maintained. So what they've said is Bill's position, and he can correct me if I state it incorrectly, but Bill and I spoke today, and Bill is okay with the township accepting dedication of that line as long as there's an operations and maintenance agreement that obligates the owner, the Gambone LLC, to actually maintain it. And that's the same basic arrangement that we had at Providence Town Center. The only difference is how you define where the line is from what point to what point. Today, DEP sort of pleasantly surprised the applicant and said that they would grant the approval to the planning module as long as they got something in writing from the township that the township would accept the sewer main. And here we are. So it's a little bit, last second to bring it up, but it isn't something new to us, and it is something that you've done in the past. So it's simply a matter of telling them, normally you make the decision on accepting dedication, whenever you want, basically. You can accept something for dedication 30 years from now if you've never accepted it. In this case, they're asking that you commit today that you will accept it, subject to an O&M agreement. I don't have a problem with it, and Bill doesn't have a problem with it.
Okay, and the O&M agreement, that would be, it's not a deed restriction, how?
It's a separate recorded document. It almost is like a deed in a way. It's not in the deed, but it's as effective as though it were.
And it's whoever owns that property?
It carries forward with the land, yeah.
Bingo, okay.
Is Gambone going to agree to maintain it?
Yes. They already understand the whole, they're the ones who got the email from DEP, and they're quite agreeable.
Okay.
So how would this motion?
Well, it would be a motion to accept dedication of the sewer main at the 60K Flex building in the PTC 3?
Providence Business Park 3.
Providence Business Park 3 project.
Are we doing this tonight?
If you're, yes, please. Yes, you are.
I will make the motion on exactly what Mr. Bresnan just said into the record, okay? That's the motion, what he
Can we
just said.
do it that way, and I'll second that? And
Okay.
I'll make a motion, and somebody else.
I think that'll work on it, yeah,
So
okay.
motion to accept.
All right,
sewer.
I have a motion and a second, and if there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That carries, thank you.
Thank you. I have nothing else.
Supervisor comments, I've already said plenty tonight. Anybody else got anything to say?
It's nice to all get back together and not wear masks, and nice to see everybody out there. A quick question, Brian, I know I asked this a few meetings ago, and now that we're kind of going back to normal, can we check in on the trash pickup along the roads? And I don't know where we left that. It might have been like we had to give you roads to check, but honestly, it's like every road.
Yeah, I did reach out to Ms. Durazio from Montgomery County. Because of COVID, they were not utilizing the correctional facilities folks to do any roadside collection this year. I know that the Perkiomen Watershed did something a few weeks after you inquired, and I did see a significant improvement, though it wasn't everywhere in the township. It was just at the particular sites that the watershed did that cleanup.
So it's not going to be this year at all? This.
Correct. The correctional facility is not or offering that service, utilizing the residents of the correctional facility.
Gotta get the Boy Scouts involved.
Yeah, it's really going to be bad by 2022. Like, okay.
All right.
I wanted to mention the two books that I've read or listened to so far this month are Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks and Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil by Leslie McSpadden. The other thing I wanted to do was bring to people's attention the article in the Times-Herald dated March 6, 2014. It is an article about Park House, and I wanted to bring to attention one particular paragraph, and that is, quote, because Upper Providence would not subdivide the land, the county had to use its power of eminent domain to buy back the land at market price, which was valued at $2 million, in order to protect it and deed it legally open space. That is referring to what is now the Upper Schuylkill Regional Park, but it's also referring to the other parcel that was not subdivided off from the facility. And I just want to bring that to people's attention and to think about it. Thank you.
All right, Tim, do you want to review our upcoming events?
Upcoming events, we have our regular meeting of our Board of Supervisors on June 21st and July 19th. I think I did mention to you that we may be wanting to have a workshop the first Monday in June, and I'll get back to you with confirmation on that. A Planning Commission meeting May 26th at 7 o'clock. Agenda items are the Yerkes Station Apartments, tentative land development agreement. June 21st at 7 o'clock, date to be determined. Agenda items, Lewis Road Townhouses, that's a tentative subdivision. 172 Hopwood Road, it's a conditional use and tentative subdivision. Park and Recreation Committee meeting, May 19th at 6 o'clock. Our quarterly Sewer Authority meeting will be held at June 3rd, and our Comprehensive Planning Subcommittee meeting on May 26th.
All right.
Subject to change in addition as we get more information.
Sure. All right, I think that's it for this evening. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.